Good day, Team Harcourts. Thank you for your time to watch this brief discussion on the use of an Excel spreadsheet to capture your specialist area data of properties that come onto the market and progress through the marketing process until the time that they sell or get withdrawn from the market. On this sheet, you will see quite a number of columns and information and criteria. I would like to present this to you as a suggestion, not to say that you have to use this criteria or that your spreadsheet has to look like this. You will design your own, but this is merely a suggestion. As you can see, a column allows for the address of a property and the suburb that the property is situated in, and the date that the property was listed, day, month, and year. Then there's a column that allows for the initial list price in thousands. So this reads 1.45 million rand. And who listed the property? Did the market list the property? In other words, the market may be including Harcourts or excluding Harcourts. And you also have an H that stands for Harcourts on a sole mandate. The Harcourts can be part of the market on an open mandate. So I might be part of this property, of the marketing of this property. So in this column, you will see under mandate there it allows for open mandates, sole mandates, and joint mandates. What is the type of the property? Is it a house, a townhouse, a flat, or a flat or apartment, whatever you want to call it, or a earth? And then you also have the title of the property, freehold or sectional title. We allow for the earth size, the house size in square meterage, and then the accommodation that the property offers. So we have beds, baths, recreational areas, studies, and lock-up garages. So all of this information will be able to access and collate from the web, from portals like Property 24, and as the property comes onto the market and you're alerted of that new listing, you'll be able to capture this information from the information that you see on websites. Once a property sells, you'll be able to capture the selling price of a property, again in thousands, so this would read 1.3 million rand, and the date that the property sold, the 3rd of September 2019. If this was not your listing, then you'll have to get this information from the agent that sold the property if you have a relationship with them, but somehow you just have to get this information. Who sold the property? In this case, the M stands for the market again, and the mandate on an open mandate. Here we have who lists or sells, H is for Harcourts, M for the market, open or sold. Again, merely suggestions. Once a property has sold, we have an opportunity now to calculate the listing to sales price ratio. In this little cell, we have a formula that takes your sales price and it divides it by the initial listing price. So it would be 1.3 million divided by 1.45 million, which would give me 90%. And so it goes on. In this column under the days on the market, it would take the sales date and subtract the listing date. So if I position my cursor in the cell, you will see the formula. It's column R minus column D. So again, it is the sales date minus the listing date, and that would give me the number of days on the market. In this case, where the property was withdrawn after 211 days, there is no indication of listing to sales price because there was no selling price. And I entered the number of days on the market on the day that the property was withdrawn or around about there. You will also notice that in this spreadsheet, I have 2 other properties that have not sold yet. So those areas remain blank. And this property has been on the market for 247 days, and I still don't know what the listing to sales price ratio would be. You'll also notice that I have color indications of my properties that I'm working on, that I have on my books. The ones in light blue, I have a sole mandate on with Harcourts, and the ones in light pink, I'm also part of these open mandates. So it's part of the market. We are a few agencies marketing this property on an open mandate. But again, you can decide if you want to use colors. For me, it's just easier to see it stands out in my conversation with my homeowner. I can direct my homeowner to these properties more easily. And also when I look at the spreadsheet as a working document, it stands out to me to remember these are my listings. These are listings that I'm currently working on. Now, this stats that I'm starting to build here, the listing to sales price ratio and number of days on the market, is critically important in building my final stats that I can present to my homeowner. So if I show you that, let's just scroll here for a moment. If I look in the past 6 months, I had on my sole managed properties an average price drop of 2% versus the market an average price drop of 9%. My average number of days on the market on my sole managed properties is 47 days versus the market's 73 days. And so it goes on. You can look at the rest in your own time. So again, this is critically important as part of my unique value proposition, why the seller will look towards me and say, yes, I want to go with you, Harcourt's agent, because it seems that you perform better than the market with the resources that you use, your understanding of the market, etc., etc. If we're not showing this information to our client, we are losing a massive benefit advantage that we have to present ourselves as area specialists. So how do we then print this information and make it available to our homeowner? First of all, before I go to the print function, I want to remind you that when you set up an Excel spreadsheet like this, you want to go to the page layout and under orientation, sorry, I'm lying, under page layout, under margins, go to custom margins and make sure that you maximize the reach of these columns and rows on the page by adjusting your margins up to, I would say, or down to, I would say, about 0.25, so that you can just maximize the spread of your information on your sheet. So I can now go to File, and I can go to Print, and this will allow me to now print this information onto an A4 sheet. You will notice that there are two pages. Page 2 is information that revolves around the homeowners of these properties' contact details and also the contact trail that you have with those homeowners in your journey of making contact with them, following up, etc. So this information we will not make available to our prospective sellers, but when I have an opportunity to meet with a prospective seller, I want to take this information with me so that I can have a detailed conversation. I will never leave this information with my homeowner. I will keep it with me because I have worked exceptionally hard to build all the stats or capture all this data, and it's my intellectual property that I do not want to make available to either my homeowner or another agent, because I don't want them to use this information to their benefit. I want to share this with my homeowner, but I want to keep this information with me. I want to take the sheet back with me. And also, if you just want to print page 1, remember that you say pages 1 to 1. You just want to print the one page. So coming back onto the sheet, again, to the right, we have these columns that allow for address, owner, contact number, email address, and contact trail. I have also just allowed for a little column here that says sold, because it allows me to look at these Ys very quickly to see which of these properties have sold. And in future calculations, I will just use these Ys and turn them into percentages. So we can look at that at some other time. So friends, if you are comfortable by using Excel and Excel formulas, and you feel comfortable entering new rows and copying formulas in other cells into new cells, you can exit this presentation now. Before you do that, I would just like to alert you very quickly to the functions that we also have on Google Sheets. If you don't want to use the Office documents, the 365, sorry, the Excel spreadsheet that I just show you that is part of the Office package, you can also use Google Sheets. To access Google Sheets, you go to Google, you sign into your Google account, and you have this little app icon, Google app icon. Once you open that, you will just scroll down to Google Sheets, and you will see that Google Sheets looks identical to your Excel spreadsheet, but it works in a slightly different way. You'll have to be able to navigate yourself around Google Sheets. If you feel comfortable with this, the benefit that you have, as you know, is that this document is now available in the cloud on different devices. So I can work on my laptop in my office now, and this document can also be accessed from my mobile phone or from my tablet or my iPad when I'm out in the marketplace. So it makes it very, very versatile, but it has a slightly different function than your normal Excel. So remember this. So back to my Excel. For those of you that are signing off, thank you very, very much for your time, and I wish you all the very best. Give it horns. For those of you that are staying on, I would just like to show you how I make a new entry into this Excel spreadsheet. So I have done the following. I have entered this property 30 Main Road. It was listed on the 17th of April at 2 million Rand. And this is what the property offers. And now the property actually sold this morning for 1.9 million. Oh, what am I doing here? Sorry about that. So it sold for 1.9 million. And the date that it sold was the 21st of April 2020. And it was a Harcourt's sole mandate. So we sold it in 4 days. Beautiful, beautiful thing. So you can see there, I just want to remove those two calculations. What I would like to point out to you is that if you make a new row entry and you need to copy the formula into the cell, all you do is you go and take that formula in that little cell. We can see that that formula sits there, and I position my mouse in the bottom right hand corner and I pull it down so that I copy that formula into that cell, and the same applies on that side. So I can just pull it down. That's really all I wanted to show you, is how you copy the formulas into these new cells once you have made a new entry. Now, once I have done that, but that property hasn't sold yet, I can really just remove that, and remove that and that. And as you can see, I have these ugly looking things on my spreadsheet, so I might as well just remove that as well. Okay, so that is really how to copy those two formulas into a new row. Friends, I think that is pretty much what I have to say to you. Build your unique value proposition, be committed to capturing this area data, and you will put yourself in very, very, very good stead. Thank you for your time. I wish you all the best. Goodbye.